Welcome back to Just a Girl Talking Trash. I am your host, Tommy Lynn, and we're talking about something that can be exciting, stressful, overwhelming, rewarding, and sometimes downright exhausting. Acquisitions. Most acquisitions can be very exciting. They can be overwhelming, but they are definitely rewarding. More specifically, what it's like being one of the chosen ones. If you've ever worked for a company that acquired another company, merged operations, expanded into a new market, or even took over a struggling facility, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've ever been selected as one of the leaders responsible for making that transition successful, this episode is definitely for you because from the outside, it sounds exciting. You get the phone call, leadership reaches out, your boss says they need you, they trust you, they want you to help lead an acquisition. Immediately, your mind starts racing. Out of all the people they could have picked, they picked me. That's a great feeling. It feels like recognition. It feels like validation. It feels like a reward. But what most people don't realize is that being chosen often comes with a burden that nobody talks about. Because when leaderships send you into an acquisition, they are not sending you into stability. It is anything but. They're sending you into uncertainty, into chaos. They will be sending you into an environment where emotions are already running really high. And your job is to help bring order to the disorder. So let's talk about the acquired employees. Imagine showing up to work one day and finding out another company is taking over. Maybe you've worked there 5 years, maybe 10, maybe 20. Maybe your father worked there, your friends worked there. Maybe you've built your entire career there. And suddenly someone announces that things are changing. What is the first thing most employees think? Am I losing my job? What's going to happen to my benefits? Will they keep management? Will they change everything? Will they take care of us? Are they even going to care about us? Fear enters the room immediately. It consumes it. Not because people are difficult, because people are human. Change creates uncertainty. Uncertainty creates fear, and fear creates resistance. That resistance is not personal. It is natural. And as leaders, we sometimes forget that. We see resistance and assume employees don't want improvement. That's not always true. Sometimes people simply just want reassurance. Sometimes they want answers, and sometimes they just want to know they are going to be okay. Now let's talk about the people sent in to lead these acquisitions, the chosen ones, the interrogation team, the operations leaders, the managers, the supervisors, the people tasked with bringing two organizations together, and usually they want it done fairly quickly. What most people don't see are the long hours, the travel, the pressure, the expectations, the meetings, the constant problem solving. You're learning a new operation, meeting new employees, evaluating equipment, understanding systems, addressing concerns, managing expectations, and somehow you're expected to remain positive while doing it because everyone, and I mean everyone, is watching. The employees are watching. Corporate leadership is watching. Customers are watching. The community is watching. Let me tell you something. The pressure is, but one of the biggest mistakes leaders make during acquisitions, I think, is focusing on systems before people. They focus on procedures, policies, technology, reporting, metrics. Those things matter. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. That is all part of an acquisition. But the culture matters more. You can replace software. You can replace it with any platform you want. You can replace processes. You can replace reporting systems, But trust takes time. Trust has to be earned. Every acquisition I've ever witnessed comes down to one question. Do the people trust the new leadership? Because if the answer is no, every change becomes a battle. Every conversation becomes a struggle. Every initiative becomes difficult. But if trust exists, people become willing to listen. And listening opens the door to progress. You see, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about acquisitions is that they're about buying assets. They are not. They're about people. Yes, you're acquiring trucks. You are acquiring equipment, buildings, contracts, customers. But behind every one of those things are people. People who are wondering, where do they fit now? People who are wondering what comes next. Some of them are wondering, should they be looking for another job? People who need leadership. And that's where the chosen ones come in. Your job isn't to simply implement change. Your job is to help navigate the change. There is a difference. One focuses on systems, the other focuses on people. The best leaders understand both. And if you have been chosen to handle or assist with an acquisition, that is because your leadership team believes that you are able to handle both of those challenges. Now let's talk about why you were chosen, because this is very important. Many people assume they're selected because they're technically strong. And yes, that may be true, but technical skills alone don't make acquisitions successful. Leadership does. Communication does. Relationship building does. Emotional intelligence does. Problem solving does. The ability to stay calm under pressure does. The ability to walk into uncertainty and create stability definitely matters. Leadership doesn't send their strongest people into acquisitions because it's an easy process. They send them because it's hard. They send them because they trust them. They send them because they believe they can handle adversity. That realization changed the way I viewed opportunities. Instead of asking why me, I started asking, what do they see in me? Because when organizations repeatedly choose the same people for difficult assignments, they're telling you something. And it is very loud and very clear. They're telling you they believe you can succeed where others might struggle. But here is the reality nobody talks about. Being one of the chosen ones can be lonely. You're often caught in the middle. Corporate leadership wants results. Employees want answers. Customers want consistency. Everyone has expectations. The expectations are even higher during this time. And sometimes it will make you feel like you're carrying all of them at once. That's when leadership becomes less about authority and more about resilience. You have to remain steady when others are uncertain, and you have to remain positive when others are frustrated. You have to remain focused when everything around you feels chaotic. I mean, there are going to be days that you feel like everything is just going haywire. It isn't easy, but it's leadership. And at the end of the day, acquisitions are not about logos. They're not about uniforms. They're not about company names. They're not even about organizational charts. Acquisitions are about people learning to trust each other, people learning to work together, people learning to move forward together. And the leaders chosen to guide that process play a very critical role. And if you are one of those leaders listening today, I want you to remember something. You weren't chosen because this assignment was going to be easy. You were chosen because leadership believes you can handle hard things. You were chosen because someone saw something in you. It may be your experience, your character, your leadership style, the ability you have to connect with people, your ability to build trust, your ability to create stability during uncertainty. And that's why you are there, not to manage change, but to lead the people through it. And that is one of the greatest responsibilities a leader can ever have. I have done so many different acquisitions. We did a huge acquisition a couple years ago, and I was stuck out there I say stuck, but I was out there at this acquisition for several weeks. And it was very challenging because there was a lot of uncertainty from the employees. There were hundreds of employees that we had just acquired. They had came from a very small hauling site. And when we say small, I say small compared to some of these corporate America organizations that have thousands by the thousands of employees. And they were very scared. They were very uncertain. They didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring. They didn't know what to expect from one day to the next. And you had to be there to reassure them that everything was going to be okay. There's a lot in the process during the acquisitions. And, the biggest part was keeping them calm, reassuring them, spending time with them, talking to them, getting to know them, because the job still has to get done during the acquisition. We can't stop the job just because we acquired a new company. We have to ensure that they're still doing the same thing that they were doing the day before we decided to purchase that company. And sometimes that part in itself can be very challenging, but you definitely have plenty of people back home, your leadership team, your corporates. They are there backing you. They are there looking for a success story, and they believe in you. They believe that you are able to handle the challenge. Sometimes these are really big acquisitions, and that should be a great accomplishment to you by knowing that they could have picked anyone to go handle this acquisition, but they chose you. So kudos to you if you've ever did an acquisition. And if you've ever thought about doing an acquisition, I hope this was able to provide you some insight on what you would be faced with and what some people don't talk about when they're doing the acquisitions, because it's sometimes we don't have the ability to stop and think about what we're doing and write it down. We don't have the ability to tell the next person coming behind us, another acquisition, hey, by the way, just prepare yourself for this. Because in that moment, we're not thinking about that. We're just thinking about all the tasks that we need to complete in a very short time frame. And we have to get this new acquired business up and running full speed to our standards. And sometimes we do have to fade some people out that are not going to fit the culture, that are not going to meet our standards. And that can be challenging because trust me, the other employees see it. They see that we're weeding them out, but it's not intentional. It's all business. It's never a personal reason. It's a business matter. So I hope that this has helped you. Let me know if you have any questions. And until next time, this is just a girl talking trash.